Okay, so this is the birthday present that my wife did buy me. No, I am not going to be trying to do a podcast or anything like that. I just want better sounding audio when it comes to YouTube. Maybe I'll do some type of video, sit down videos every now and again, and this will be the setup that we use. This little girl right here will be part of some of those videos along with my wife. But okay, on to my video, part 2. What do you have to say? Stay tuned for part 2. Say it. Say stay tuned.
Stay tuned, the cartoon.
Stay tuned to part 2. For part 2.
Stay for part 2. Stay for part 2.
Anyways, okay, so this is, we're going back to the video. This is part 2 of my 4-month experience riding a motorcycle. I'll check you guys in the next video. We'll do a whole video on this whole setup here. I bought the whole Rodecaster kit. It came with both microphones and these stands that you see right here. What?
I say something?
Go ahead.
And we're going to talk about animals after.
We're going to talk about animals?
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the next video, we're going to talk about animals.
Yeah.
Your favorite animals, right?
Yeah. We're going to talk about today.
Today?
Yeah.
Well, I think you have a fort that you need to clean up in the office.
No, we're doing this first.
That's what you think. No. Goodbye.
Yes.
Okay, say bye.
Yep.
Say bye. Okay, we'll see you guys in the next video. Enjoy this. But anyways, okay, moving on. Next thing is my riding experience. It's been awesome, man. But like I said in the beginning, it's kind of been terrifying. I was extremely lucky to start riding during the pandemic. As you guys know that ride on a daily basis, the roads were bare for at least a month or two, right? And now it's almost back to normal. But I got to experience riding a motorcycle, one on the Iron 883 first. So I made all my mistakes on the Iron 883, and I still make mistakes to this day. But the good thing is this is has more technology on this bike. But streets were bare, made a ton of mistakes that scared the living crap out of me on the Iron 883. And the biggest thing was I've ridden wide, you know. And I'm doing this thing kind of backwards, but yeah, I've ridden wide and this, that, and the third. And this is after me taking the motorcycle course because, again, I'm just excited to be on a motorcycle. I'm not paying attention. But it only took me like 1 or 2 times of doing that, and then I realized that, okay, focus, stay focused. Don't play around while you're still learning. But yeah, man, I've had people cut me off. Recently on this Lowrider S here, had someone cut me off, and it was bad. Like, they literally did a U-turn right in front of me in the far right-hand lane. I mean, it's 2 lanes going in one direction and 2 lanes going the opposite direction. This lady literally decides from the far right-hand lane to do a U-turn. So luckily, I was riding, or whatever you want to call it, the Lowrider S, and it has ABS. Because if I was riding a motorcycle that did not have ABS, being that I'm a new rider, I just grabbed a freaking handful of brake, man. Like, there's literally nothing I could do but grab a handful of brake. But luckily, this damn thing has ABS brakes, and it literally saved me from slamming right into the side of this woman's car. And then literally, she decides, after she's tried to do the U-turn, and she saw I almost hit her, she just drops off like it was nothing. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm so angry. Like, she didn't roll down her window and apologize, nothing. So, like, that's the most frustrating part about riding. It's just the negligence of other riders. No matter how safe you are, other drivers are just stupid. They do stupid stuff. And a lot of times you don't pay attention to how stupid people are because you're driving a car yourself, or a truck, or a Jeep like me. You know, okay, if you hit me, you're going to damage my car, but I'm 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be okay, right? So with a motorcycle, it's just different. I take it all personal. I literally take it personal when somebody does something stupid. And, you know, obviously I'm working on that. Now, I've never gotten into a confrontation with anyone, but in my mind, I'm cursing and I'm angry, I'm throwing my hands up, and I'm just, you know, I'll de-escalate the situation if need be, but it's never got to that point. Most people know they messed up and they don't want to say sorry and they'll just drive off. But anyways, you know what? I kind of skipped something here. I did things totally as backwards when I first bought my motorcycle. So if you live in California, don't do this, because this is what happens when you're impatient. You don't listen, you don't actually go and do any research. So I'm from North Carolina originally, and basically you can get a permit, right? And obviously it lasts about 6 months, but you can get insurance with that permit, like full-on insurance. And if I'm not mistaken, you can have insurance without a license in North Carolina. But oh my God, it is totally different in California. So what happened was, I bought the Iron 883 originally. I didn't have a motorcycle license at all, or the endorsement or whatever, right? So I couldn't test drive the motorcycle. That's why I made the mistake of buying an Iron 883, because I couldn't test ride it. So then what happened was, I bought it, put all the money down, tried to get insurance that day, but it was like 8 o'clock. This is literally a few weeks before the pandemic really started going crazy. And well, I put the money down, tried to call insurance, but they're closed. Called the next day, could not get insurance. I had to freaking work it out to where they gave me temporary insurance until I got my license. So they gave me 30 days to get my license. Well, finally get the bike home, and I started riding around. The next day I go get my permit, and then I sign up for the motorcycle course, the motorcycle class, right? So don't do that. I did things completely backwards. First things first, go get a permit, take the class, and then go get a motorcycle. It's like way before you're ready to even purchase a motorcycle financially, I would go ahead and take the course, get the permit, take the course, because the permit was super easy. I studied like one day. In California, you have to, when you do take try to get your permit, you actually have to take the written test for motorcycle and actual driving a car all over again. So you have to take both of those again. So I got the permit super easy. The next, I think, maybe 2 or 3 days later, I took the motorcycle course, and then boom, the whole pandemic went crazy. They shut down the DMV. So like, luckily I was able to get the certificate, and but I wasn't able to get my license. So I had to literally call my insurance company every month to see if I can get an extension on my insurance, and like give them all of my certificates and stuff, saying that, listen, literally all I have to do is just go get the freaking driver's license. Like, that's literally all I had to do. I didn't have to do anything. I took the vision test, took the written test. When I went to the DMV, they said all I had to do was come back and give them a certificate for the motorcycle class, and then they would issue me my new driver's license. So it took me like 3 months to get my driver's license, all because I did it backwards. And then the pandemic, I was riding dirty for a while. Although I still had my permit, I was riding on the highway, which, you know, you're not allowed to ride on the highway when you have a permit. Only side streets and, you know, in town and stuff like that. But yeah, that's my 4-month story, man. I'm loving riding a motorcycle. It's just a rewarding thing to do. And it's been helping me mentally with this whole pandemic, being stuck inside, being a stay-at-home parent. I have to say, if you are a husband or a wife, and your husband or wife is a stay-at-home parent, man, tip your hat off to them. I've been an operation manager for over 10 years, and then a regional manager for like 6 months before I decided to be a stay-at-home parent. Oh my God, I would much rather go and do that all over again, even though I hated doing it. I would much rather deal with adults that act like children than to actually deal with children. No, I mean, don't get me wrong, like teaching and like having to deal with like all the things that a stay-at-home parent has to deal with for over 10 plus hours, and it just doesn't stop. And like the biggest thing for me, it's not the fact that I'm around my child, it's the fact that like when you go to work you get a break, right? You get to be around adults. That's the thing. It's not the fact that, again, I'm around my child, it's just the fact that I'm not around adults. The only time I get to talk to adults are when my wife come home, right? So I don't get a mental break except when I'm riding this beautiful motorcycle. And that's why I'm super happy I did pick it up, because when I need a mental break and I don't want to focus on like taking care of a child, I can get my 1 or 2 hours of just throttle therapy, man. And I don't know if that sounds cold, but I think every parent can relate that, listen, you do need a break away from taking care of people. Sometimes you want to see about yourself and, you know, think about yourself to make sure you're doing okay. And that's what this is for me. I just get to stop and think and relax, not have to worry about someone's safety but my own for a while, because my goodness, whew, my daughter's 4, but she will work your last nerve with all that talking, and then you're trying to teach her how to be safe in the world. It's a tough thing to do on top of this whole pandemic. There's so much stress, but that's it, guys.